There comes a moment in life when everything you thought defined you, your career, your possessions, your relationships, vanishes in a single heartbeat. You stand there staring at the ruins of what used to be your identity, wondering how to breathe again, how to start again. That day came for me too. The day I lost everything, I thought it was the end of my story. But in truth, it was the beginning of my becoming. Because sometimes life has to strip away everything false so you can finally meet the person you were always meant to be. Losing everything wasn't my downfall, it was my awakening. It forced me to stop chasing the world's definition of success and start listening to my soul's quiet whisper. You are enough. Even with nothing. Today, I want to take you through that journey, not of loss, but of discovery, of how destruction can turn into divine direction, of how when you lose what's in your hand, God places something greater in your heart. This is not a story of defeat, it's a story of resurrection. Because sometimes you have to lose everything to finally find yourself. When I hit rock bottom, I thought my life was over. Everything I had built, everything I believed made me who I was, collapsed. The security, the recognition, the sense of control, all gone. At first, I fought it. I begged for my old life back, clinging to the illusion that happiness existed in what I had lost. But the more I resisted, the deeper I sank. It wasn't until I stopped fighting that I realized something profound. Rock bottom wasn't my punishment. It was my teacher. Rock bottom strips away everything superficial. It removes the noise, the distractions, and the masks we wear to please the world. When you're there, there's nowhere left to hide. No titles, no achievements, no possessions to protect you. You're forced to confront your raw, unfiltered self. And that's where true growth begins. I learned that pain is a form of purification. It burns away what doesn't serve you anymore and exposes the truth of who you really are. In that dark space, I discovered strength I didn't know existed. I realized that losing everything didn't make me powerless. It made me aware of the power that had always been within me. Rock bottom taught me humility, patience, and trust. It taught me to listen, to my intuition, to the whispers of faith, to the lessons hidden inside the silence. Most people fear falling apart. But sometimes falling apart is the only way to break free from what was never meant to stay. Rock bottom became the foundation upon which I rebuilt my life, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with my purpose. It showed me that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of it. So, if you've ever lost everything, if you've ever been in that place where you don't know how to move forward, know this: rock bottom is not the end. It's the beginning of your transformation. It's life's way of clearing the path for something better, something truer. It's where your old self dies and your real self is born. Because sometimes you have to be broken open, for the light to finally get in. When life takes everything from you, it exposes what's been inside you all along. I didn't understand that at first. When I lost what I thought defined me, my security, my stability, my sense of control, I felt empty, weak, and defeated. But in that emptiness, I discovered something unexpected. Beneath all the layers of fear and failure, there was a quiet, unshakable power, a strength that had been buried under comfort and routine. Losing everything didn't make me weak. It revealed how strong I truly was. True strength doesn't show itself when things are easy. It awakens when there's nothing left to hold on to. When you have no safety net, no backup plan, and yet you still choose to rise, that's power. That's faith in motion. I learned that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about breaking and still choosing to heal. It's about walking through the fire and realizing that it can't destroy you, only refine you. In my lowest moments, I found a resilience that didn't come from motivation or external encouragement. It came from survival. From a deep inner knowing that giving up wasn't an option. Every day I had to rebuild myself. One thought, one action, one prayer at a time. That's where strength grows, not in the moments of success, but in the quiet hours of endurance, when no one is watching. Losing everything taught me that I didn't need validation, possessions, or certainty to feel powerful. All I needed was belief that something within me was greater than the challenges before me. And that belief became my anchor. I stopped asking, why is this happening to me? And started asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift turned my pain into purpose. The truth is, you never really know who you are until everything around you falls apart. That's when the real you steps forward, the version of you that's not defined by circumstances, but by courage, by perseverance, by faith. Losing everything wasn't the end of my strength, it was the revelation of it. Because sometimes it takes losing it all to realize that the power you've been searching for was never in what you had, it was in who you are. After losing everything, I realized that the true rebuilding didn't start with my finances, relationships, or opportunities. It started with my thoughts. My external world had fallen apart because internally, I was still operating from fear, doubt, and limitation. I had been trying to rebuild my life with the same mindset that created the collapse. That's when I understood. If I wanted a new reality, I had to create a new mindset. Rebuilding my mind meant taking control of what I allowed myself to think and believe. Every morning, I had to choose faith over fear, gratitude over grief, and vision over victimhood. It wasn't easy. There were days when the old patterns screamed louder than hope. But I learned that the mind is like soil. Whatever seeds you plant, that's what grows. So I started planting seeds of strength, abundance, and peace. I began to speak differently about myself. Instead of saying, I lost everything, I started saying, I'm being prepared for something greater. Instead of focusing on what I didn't have, I gave thanks for what I was becoming. That single shift from scarcity to possibility became the foundation of my comeback. Slowly, life began to mirror my new beliefs. Opportunities appeared, relationships healed, and peace returned. Not because the world changed, but because I did. The more I renewed my thoughts, the more I attracted situations that matched that renewed energy. I realized that the mind isn't just a tool, it's the blueprint of your destiny. When you rebuild your mind, you rebuild your world. Every success begins in thought form first. The external breakthrough is only a reflection of an internal transformation. That's why no amount of effort or strategy can replace a healed and empowered mindset. So, if you've lost everything and you're wondering where to begin, start with your thoughts. Protect them, nurture them, speak life into them. Because before you rebuild your bank account, your relationships, or your future, you must first rebuild your belief in yourself. And when you do, everything that once seemed lost will return in a greater, purer, and more divine form than before. Because the moment you rebuild your mind, your entire life begins again.